All right, well, a lot going on today. All eyes are on the US. There's no doubt about it. Over the next decade, they're calling it the mega decade, when the US is hosting a slew of international major and mega sporting events. And there's a lot of lead up discussions going on about access into the US from a travel perspective, the perfect intersection between sport and tourism in our world. And there's a new report that was just put out by US Travel and the Commission on Seamless and Secure Travel that highlights some of the challenges facing the country, destinations far and wide hosting these events across the country in the next decade plus as we prepare for the influx of international travelers into the United States. I'll link to that report in the description, but just wanted to jump on here for a few seconds and give three key thoughts that I have early on about this. We've been following this for some time, and it's really interesting to see this new coming out. So I'm Dr. Jennifer Stoll, President and CEO of Cimarron Global Solutions. And as a sport tourism researcher, this is highly interesting to me. The report goes through at length several challenges that the U.S. is going to face when it comes to accommodating seamlessly and securely all the visitors that are coming into the U.S. over the next decade plus. And let's keep in mind, we've got things such as the FIFA Club World Cup, the FIFA World Cup itself, World Rugby, World Cricket, the LA 28 Olympic and Paralympic Games, and of course the Salt Lake 34 Olympic and Paralympic Games as well. So a lot at stake on this, and I'm going to give you my three thoughts right now. Number one is 2025's Ryder Cup taking place in New York at Bethpage Black Course is going to be a key test. Now, one of my very first events ever right out of grad school was the 2008 Ryder Cup at Valhalla, and I had a chance to help run the volunteer program for that event. And that event features over 3,500 volunteers at the time, and I'm pretty sure it's still the case today, and several hundred of them came in 2008 from other countries. So processing those volunteers, getting them all squared away to enter the US is going to be key. Not to mention that the players for the Ryder Cup, the final teams aren't even announced until right beforehand. No doubt they're working in advance on that, but the tournament is in late September and the final teams are announced in August. So a pretty short window of time. And then the third component is just the ticket component itself. Really, when you think about it, the drawing for random ticket selection for the Ryder Cup has already taken place, and there's a robust secondary market for ticket sales for a major event, an international event like that, like the Ryder Cup. So the lag time between getting those tickets processed and people that are purchasing them from overseas coming in could be something to watch. It's going to be a good test. Now I'm going to go into my second thought, and it's really that the World Cup is coming on us fast, right? We're only 16 months away, and if you can believe it, the World Cup host destinations were announced already over 2.5 years ago. So the difference between the Ryder Cup in 25 and the World Cup is obviously that the World Cup is going to be hosted in a variety of locations across the US, Canada, and Mexico. Now they've got a little bit of an advantage because we've got the 2025 Club World Cup coming as well to 11 destinations. So we're going to have a little bit of that trial period of processing people through and making it as seamless as possible when it comes to the Club World Cup. But really, that's all building up toward this major mega event, the World Cup in 2026. But that's not even the big kahuna of them all. My third thought on this is quite simply the LA 28 games and then leading into the winter games in Salt Lake in 34. That is the big kahuna here that we're talking about. There's a lot of events obviously taking place in between those, but the LA Summer Games, it's expected that there's going to be over 10 million spectators. Now, what specific percent of those spectators are coming internationally is a little bit to be determined. But just for comparison, some estimates that's twice as many spectators as the World Cup is anticipating across those host locations. So, definitely the big one when it comes to how we're processing people coming into the States. We're going to want to watch that. But in actuality, whether it's the Ryder Cup or the Club World Cup, World Cricket, World Rugby, they're all building up towards that 2028. So there's no doubt all eyes are on the US and how we handle this. It's going to be something that we're going to be watching. I'm really, really encouraged to see US travel and other organizations working on this in advance. It's a great opportunity to put the best foot forward for the US from a reputational perspective. As we often say in this industry, nothing unites people like the power of sport. And this is a great opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity for the US when it comes to hosting this caliber of slate of major and mega events. We've done a little bit of work outlining some of the difficulties, some of the challenges that exist when it comes to hosting this scale of international event. I'll link to that article below, but check it out and stay with us until next time. I'm Dr. Jennifer Stoll from Cimarron Global Solutions.